Thank you. I'm excited to be on a panel. I didn't know a panel was Latin for just like really short speech. I feel like everybody's just getting up and coming off really quickly. So I'm going to keep this very short. I think I have 6.2 minutes. So basically, yeah, one thing that's really improved this year for our team has been our recruiting efforts this last year. One thing that was very clear to us is we had a great culture of CSPs, people that have been around now for a few years, people that were getting their Rolexes, people that were hitting Hall of Fame. But that was kind of where it stopped. We weren't adding new people to the team. We didn't really have another layer, a second and third tier. And so that's something that we knew for us to grow and kind of get to the next level. That was going to be the next thing that we needed to kind of get focused on. So we kind of had to look at if we were to max out, and you can do this in your territory too, if you were to max out all available shows in your area, like not just what you're doing, not just what you know about, but like really what's possible and what's available, how big of a team would you need for that? How many people? And the important thing to remember is that a lot of those shows are not events that your CSPs or your top tier people will want to work anyway. This year, we finally started working these gun shows. We're in Texas. There's lots of gun shows. I don't know if you guys know that. Like every 2 weeks, there's a gun show in our area, in the local market. So nobody ever really worked it because it's a small little, it's an $80 show that, you might sell a little bit at that, a CSP wasn't really going to go out and sit and do that. They'd rather be doing something else or just taking a weekend off. So we added 50 plus K this year just in gun shows, just having like brand new people working these. Like people were really like trying it out for themselves kind of thing without a lot of instruction from us. 50K to our year just in gun shows. And we've added tens of thousands of dollars in other smaller shows that we were able to try out. And everybody gets to work more because we have people kind of appropriately placed in different kinds of shows. A key to make sure that you are recruiting effectively is make sure that you're setting your dates and your goals and your events now in your calendar. That way you have deadlines. That way you know when your trainings are going to be. For a lot of the year in 2016, we were like, yeah, we're going to have a training at the end of the summer. We'll see who shows up. We'll kind of figure it out as we go. People would say, well, what day is that? We're like, at the end of the summer. We'll let you know. We'll get back to you on that. Now it's like it's in our calendar. So for 2017, we actually had, a training attached to the end of SC2. So in 2016, we had about 10 people that ended up being at that. And for 2017, we set a goal. We want to have 50 people at that. We want 50 butts in the chairs that we can train and we can show the opportunity that our events program has to offer. We didn't quite hit 50, but we got to 40. And so we have already talked about this, 30 times now, where your focus goes, energy flows. We knew that we wanted to get 50 people there, and that's why we got to 40. And we've retained a lot of those people, and we've added, a dozen people to our team that are now like active in our team that are super fired up. Like it's overwhelming. I have these new people who like are at 30 grand in career sales and they're like, I want to work a show every weekend. Tell me what I need to do. I'll go find shows. I'll try it. Even if nobody else wants to work it, I want to do that. And that's like a cool passion and excitement that you don't necessarily get from your CSPs at that level, right? They're excited about other things, but not necessarily that. They're not wanting to go field test all of your brand new shows that you've never worked before that cost $60 that they're going to go just show up with, a table and a set of knives and try to sell. So that's been challenging us. I'm like, shoot, I got to get these guys more shows, right? Now we're kind of reaching that bottleneck where I'm like, we need to get them more events because we have more people on our team now. So it just keeps going and going. So make sure also that you have multiple trainings. That was another thing. We had our big SC2 training, but last year we had several other just smaller trainings throughout the summer, different times of the year. So get them all on your calendar now, and that way they can be promoted effectively. In addition to that, Nicole touched on this, and this has really been one of the biggest keys, is make sure that you get your buy-in from your managers, because nobody has more influence and more time spent with these reps than the managers. So the DVM, the BMs, the DMs, they need to understand that it's not a competition. I think sometimes there's kind of if you're a little short-sighted, you might think, oh, well, if we're training them to be CSPs, then they're not going to get into management, and there's this kind of pull, like, the managers want to keep them on the management side, or they're going to go CSP and then they're never going to get to a branch or anything like that. That's a lose-lose mentality, and that's not the case. As you can tell, my co-coordinator is a district manager. One of our top reps who sold 150K last year was the Dom. We have, 5 kids that are kind of newer on our team that have been working for the last 9 months that are all going to go branch this summer. And they've been on our Fair and Show team, and they've been, just crushing it, and then they're going to go branch. So we have a very fluid kind of movement between managers and reps on our team. And that's well promoted to the managers in our division as well. It's thinking about, hey, we're going to keep your people around. We're going to provide free training for your reps, right? They're going to stick around because they're going to get addicted to our culture. I'm going to give them events and make them money and train them, and you're going to make money off of that. And then they're going to stick around so that when you want them to branch next summer, they're still going to be here, right? Because so many kids just get lost at the end of the summer, and we help provide a path for them to stick around long term. So it's important to have those conversations with your managers so that they see the value in adding people to the events team, in getting them tied into your culture. And the other thing, too, is make sure that you prepare them on how they need to promote the program. You don't want them telling people, yeah, you're going to be working the State Fair of Texas next summer. Like, just go ahead. Just get started and you'll be there. Make sure that they know what's realistic. How many shows would they be working? What does this look like? What does the events program look like? What is the path to get there? And that's another thing. It's really important to provide a clear path for everybody, for the managers, for the reps, for your coordinators, of how somebody gets into your fair and show team. At what level do they get trained? At what level do they go field training? At what level do they buy their kit? At what level can they work what level of shows? We have C shows, B shows, and A shows. Depending on what level they're at, they can improve and grow in that capacity too, and that gives them something to shoot for. And then just the last thing I'll say, I know my little thing is beeping over here. When you're looking at people to add, right, because it's not just about recruiting, it's about retention, which we're going to talk more about later, but make sure you're focused. Obviously, we look at who the high flyers are. Who's that rep that sold 40K this summer that's just crushing it? And, we love working with those people too, but a lot of times in our division, that's the kid that's going away to college in another state that's going to be busy with a lot of other stuff. And we're excited to have them. We're excited to train them and hopefully get them in for some shows and some events. But if I have a local kid that's at 10K, but he's super excited and he is just fired up to work shows and maybe not the best in sales yet, that's still the kind of person that I want to nurture and I want to work with. Those are the people we have on our team right now that are just growing and that are just crushing it and that want to work a show every single weekend, and they're there, and we can really develop that person even if they're not the best their first summer, right? We can help facilitate their growth and learning, and they're going to be some of the people that stick around the longest because we help them do that too. So, thanks.